Hello guys, welcome to the next video on JavaFx Sqlite database tutorial for beginners. In the last video, I've shown you how to create your Sqlite database and how you can download this Sqlite JDBC jar to add to your project. Now in this video, I'm going to show you how you can create your first JavaFX project and connect it with Sqlite database. So let's get started. I'm going to use Eclipse IDE for this tutorial series, but you can use either NetBeans or IntelliJ for the same purpose also. Okay, so let's create our first JavaFX project. So I'm going to go to File, New, Others, and in here I will choose the JavaFX project and click Next. And in here I'm going to give the name to my JavaFX project. We are going to create a login app, so I will name it as login app. Okay, and click Finish, and our project is created and it contains the application package and this main.java class and application.css class. What we are going to do in this project is we will try to follow the MVC pattern or model view controller pattern, which is a standard in making UIs. And for that, we are going to create a controller class, model class, and for example, login.fxml file. So right click on your application package and we are going to add a new fxml file. So go to others and choose from here under JavaFX category a new fxml document and click next, and we are going to name it as login. Okay, so login.fxml and click finish, and this login.fxml is added to your project. Now we are going to add some classes, so right click on your application package once again and add a class, and this class we are going to name it as, for example, Sqlite connection, and this class we are going to use to prepare a connection for Sqlite with our project. Okay, now we are going to go to our login.fxml file and right click here and go to source, and in here go to the last option which says generate controller, and it's going to create a controller class for us, and its name is login controller. Okay, and I'm going to click OK, and it's going to create this login controller.java class for us. Now we are going to create a model class, so right click on your application package once again, create a new class, and this time we are going to name it as login model class. Okay, and click finish. So these are the classes we are going to require to create our project. We have login controller.java class, login model.java class, main.java class, Sqlite connection.java class, and login.fxml file which we have recently created. Okay, now the first thing what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to my main.java class, and what it's doing nothing but creating a scene, and it's adding this scene to our stage, and it's going to display the stage. Now we want to launch our login.fxml file from here. So instead of using this border pane root is equal to new border pane, I'm going to add this line of code which launches this login.fxml file when we run our project, and fix the import. So click on this bulb and import parent, and once again click on this bulb and import fxml loader. So now we have included this line of code which launches our login.fxml file, which is this file which we have created, and just remove this 400 and 400 from this scene constructor because it provides the default size, and we don't want to provide the default size. We want the size of our login.fxml file, right? So this is our code in main.java file. Now next what we are going to do is we are going to go to our Sqlite connection.java file, and in here we are going to create a public static method. So just write public static method, and what it's going to do is it's going to return a data type called connection, and we are going to name our function as, for example, connector, and we are going to import this library called java.sql.asterisk. Okay, so import this, and now we are going to write some code inside this connector method. So just add a try catch block first, and inside this try catch block we are going to add these 3 lines. Okay, the first line of this code is class.forName, and inside the brackets you need to pass this constant string which is constant, and you need to exactly write the same constant lines. So just write org.sqlite.jdbc. Okay, and the case should be same. And what this for name function does, it returns the class object associated with the class or interface which is given as a string argument. So we are going to call this JDBC class in order to connect to the SQLite database, right? Now create an instance of connection, right? So just write connection, give the name to your connection object is equal to driver manager dot get connection, and inside the brackets just pass this string which is JDBC colon SQLite colon your database name. Now this database name you can give in 2 ways. First way is to just copy the path where your database is present. For example, this is the path where my SQLite database is present, which I've created in the last video, and I'm going to just add this path in here. Okay, so our path looks something like this, which is in C folder, and just add these double forward slashes instead of single forward slash so that this error will be gone. So the first way is to directly give the path of your SQLite file, and then it's going to connect to this database using this path. Okay. Otherwise, if you want to add this database to your project, what you can do here is you can delete the path and just leave the name of your database, which is employeedb.sqlite in my case, and then go to the location where this database is present, and then drag and drop this database inside your login project. Okay, so it should be the login project, not inside the source folder, not inside the application package. You need to drop this under your project. Okay, and click copy, and it's going to add this database inside your project. So just remember, it's not inside the source, it's inside our project folder. Okay. Now what this line of code does is it searches for the database which we have provided here in the parent folder inside your project, and if it's found then it's okay. Otherwise it's going to create this database with this name inside your project folder. Okay, so it's better to have your own database inside the folder. Now one more thing we are going to do here is we are going to return in the catch block null, because if this method throws, then we are going to return null here. Okay, so this is the code which we will write in the SQLite connection method, which contain only one method which we use to connect to the database. Now next step is to go to your login model.java class. So go to this class which I have created for the model. So go to this login model.java class, and in here we are going to create a constructor first, and at the top we are going to create an object for this connection. Okay, so just copy this connection from here and go to your login model, and at the top create an instance of connection. And inside this login model.java class also we are going to import this class called java.sql.asterisk. Okay, and now your error will be gone related to this connection. Now inside your constructor, take this connection object and then call the SQLite connection class. So just call this connection class and then call this method which we have created, which is connector, and just close it. Now if you see this function which we have created in the SQLite connection class, which is connector, it's going to give you null if this code throws, right? So we need to handle this null situation also in this constructor for the model. So just say if our connection is equal to null, then what we are going to do, we are going to just exit our application, because if the connection is not successful, it's no use to run our application, right? So now we are going to create one more method, and I'm going to name it as isDBConnected, and it's going to return a boolean value. So just return a boolean from here, and inside this method, what we are going to do is we are going to take this connection object and we are going to call a method called isClosed on it. And what this isClosed method does is it's going to give you a boolean value. So it's checking that whether your connection is closed, and if it's closed, it's going to give you the true value. Otherwise, if the connection is successful, it's going to give you the false value. And we need to add this code inside a try catch blocks. So just add a try catch block around this code, so it's not going to give you the error. Okay, so in here we are just going to return this connection is closed, and we are going to check the negative condition. So if the connection is not closed, then we are connected, otherwise we are going to return false. So these are the two methods we are going to require in the login model.java class. Now let's go to our login controller.java class, and in here first of all we are going to implement the initializable interface, and it's going to ask you to implement a method which is initialize. So just implement this method from here, and inside this class, first of all, what we are going to do is we are going to create an instance of login model class. So just write public login model and give the name to your object, which is login model itself is equal to new login model. Okay, so we have created an instance of login model. Okay, now what we are going to do is we are going to create a label here. So just add this line of code, which is @fxml, and then in the next line just add this variable called isConnected, which is of label type and which is private inside this login controller class, and just import this label from JavaFx scene control. Okay, now go to your initialize method and take this login model, and then write if, and inside this if condition just call this login model dot isDBConnected method, and this is the method which we have created in the login model, right? So if the DB is connected, then we will show in this label that our database is connected. So just write isConnected dot set text, and then you can just write here connected. Else we are going to display in the label that our connection is not successful. So you can just write not connected. So this will be the code for your login controller class. Now we can move to the login.fxml file. So right click on your login.fxml file and open it with scene builder. And once this scene builder is open, just click on the anchor pane here, and first of all we are going to give some width to this anchor pane. So just go to layout, and in here just give the pref width is equal to 300 and pref height is equal to 300 also, and press enter, and it's going to give you this kind of frame here. Now next what we are going to do here is we are going to go to the controls section here, and we are going to take a label, and just resize your label and go to the properties, and we are going to change the font size of it. So go to this property called font here and change the font to, for example, 18. Okay, and I'm going to just remove this text on the label, and I'm going to say that this is our status. Okay, so text is status here, and we can change the color also, for example, red. Now select your label and go to the code section here. So go to this category called code for your label, and as a fx id we need to give the same id which we have given in here in the controller class. So our label name is connected. We are going to give the same name in here as a fx id. Okay, now one last thing which is remaining here is connecting our controller from this fxml file. So go on the left hand side and click this option called controller, and from here you can choose your controller, which is application.login controller. Okay, and then save everything in the scene builder. So save everything and go to your Eclipse IDE and right click on your project and refresh everything. Now one last and most important thing which is remaining here is to add the Sqlite JDBC jar file which we have downloaded in the last video, which is this file, right? So to add this jar file, what we need to do is we need to go to this section which says JRE system library. Okay, so inside your project you will find this JRE system library, and right click on it and then go to build path and then click configure build path. And in here we are going to just click this option which says add external jars, and then search for this jar file. Okay, so wherever you have saved this jar file which we have downloaded in the last video, just select this Sqlite -JDBC jar file and then open. And what it's going to do is it's going to add this Sqlite JDBC jar file into your libraries and click OK. Okay, now let's run our application, and now it says connected. Okay, so our code is working successfully. Now go to your Sqlite connection.java class in which we have written our Sqlite connection, and in the catch block you can just write sysout and you can print the exception here. Why we are doing this? Because let's say we have provided some location for this database which doesn't exist. Okay, so this is the location of the database which doesn't exist because our database is in the main folder and not in the image folder, right? And save your code and run it, and you can see this image /employeedb.sqlite does not exist in C folder. Okay, so if you give the wrong path, it's going to throw the error and it will be printed using this system.out println code. Okay, because what we are doing here inside our model constructor, that we are exiting from our code, and if your Sqlite class throws, then it will be exited and you will never know what happened. Okay, otherwise you can also add a message here, so you can print message under this if condition before exiting that the connection is not successful, right? So once again the path is wrong and you run your code and you can see here it's printing connection not successful, so you know it's throwing and you are seeing the error here. So let's change the database path to the actual path of the database and run it once again, and now it runs successfully. Okay, now one more thing I want to show you here is when you right click your project and go to the properties, you will find in resources the path to your project in the location. Just copy this location and open the location of your project in the folder explorer. So this is the location where my project is, and you can see employeedb.sqlite is there. Okay, now let's say that we change the name of the employee DB, for example employee DB1. Okay, and let's see what happens. So save your code and run it, and you can see here it's still saying us connected, but the DB name is changed. So what happened here? So what happened here, you can go to your project once again, and you can see that there is a new database created with the name employee db1.sqlite, right? So this is going to create a new database. If it doesn't find the database, it creates the new database in your project folder, and then it tries to connect it, and that's why your connection is successful. But you are never going to query this database because you don't have any table here. You can see the size is 0, but our original database size is 96 KB because we have created in the last video a table inside this database. So just remember this thing also. If the database name is wrong, then it's going to create a new database with the wrong name for you in the same folder. Okay, so just provide the exact name for your database here. So that's it for this video. I hope you have enjoyed this video. Please rate, comment, subscribe, and bye for now.